the madhouse.
Cheers to episode 27.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Tito's mixed with no free ads. Owen's mixer, cucumber and lime mix. Really good. But no ads. No free ads.
Water. Free ad.
Squid.
Water as well.
Squid.
Long weekend.
I am a squid.
So, I am a squid. The time is 6:19 p.m. on Tuesday. I want to say January 29th. Get it together. June 29th. And the Pistons are going to draft Jalen Green instead of Cade Cunningham at number 1.
It's the worst lead off into a show you've ever had.
It's not really true,
Complete lie.
but it feels what's happening.
Just a complete lie.
Also-
Because of one article.
Alex might be in the worst mood he's ever been in to start one of these shows. So this show could be pretty interesting.
My mood is totally fine. Totally fine.
Usually, for a little background to the audience, Alex and I usually get in arguments right before the show starts about just random stuff. I don't know why. This one he's pretty mad at. And little teaser, you'll see why later in the show. And another teaser for this show, before we get to our weekly check-ins, is what's on the docket for today. We got the Detroit Pistons fallout from us getting the number 1 pick in the draft because Detroit Pistons fans can't just be happy, I guess, for what they got. And now there's articles and thoughts everywhere. Then we have a new series we want to start leading into football season is ranking the players on your Detroit Lions. Shout out Dan Miller. And we're going to start with the top 25, and today will be 25 through 21. So our first 5 players rankings will be today. Super interesting, and we'll see how that goes. Alex's Rumor Mill segment of the week, presented by Codes Apparel, which we actually did not get to last week because we got so caught up in the lottery. I realized that I was listening back, editing the show, that we did not get a rumor. So maybe Alex will gift us 2 rumors this week since we missed out on one last week.
No, you will get one rumor.
And you'll like it. And then lastly, the Detroit Tigers had a nice weekend, cool win. They had a decent month of June, I would say, overall. So we're going to give them some love on this show, despite their terrible loss on Monday to the Indians. And again, the time traveling thing, we're recording Tuesday, so everyone will be listening to this on Wednesday or Thursday, most likely. So without further ado, the much anticipated golf trip for you guys took place last weekend that you teased. You don't have to start there, but I would like you guys to, obviously work that into your weekly update. Let's start with Evan this week. How was your week? How are you? What is new with Evan?
Week, let's see, getting back from last Wednesday, Thursday, nothing much. Friday went to a grad party. It's grad party season now.
It is.
Nice setup. It was raining here in southeast Michigan or all over Michigan basically all Friday. But the rain kind of went away for a while Friday evening, so it was actually a pretty nice grad party. Enjoyed some beers, played a lot of euchre. Haven't played that in a while. It was a good time. And then woke up Saturday morning on like 4 hours of sleep and decided to drive 3 hours to make my tea time for the golf trip. And I'm not going to lie, there was at one point during the trip, I am white knuckling it through construction and complete like black sky, downpour rain. And I thought to myself, is this worth it? Is driving this far worth it this early in the morning? I had to debate it. And then I was just praying I'll get through the rain, and I finally did. Got a phone call from Alex at around 7:45 asking, hey, what are you doing? It's like, I'm driving. He's like, oh, what time's your ETA? He's like, I plan on getting around the golf course at 8:20. Our tee time's not till 9:10. Remind you that. He's like, oh, well, everybody already got an instant. We're about there. We're like 6 minutes away. Hope you can make it. And I was like, oh, well, I'm still 30 minutes away, buddy. Correct, 9:10. Headless to the middle. I'm just flying by cars. It's 2-lane US 12 up by the water, and I'm just passing cars, just nonstop. Like I gotta get to the tee time. And I get there, greet everybody. Like, oh, we still have to wait because there's a whole group of 16 guys doing the same thing we are in front of us, so we still had to wait. Red Hawk Golf Course, like I said, beautiful golf course. We played 36 holes on Saturday in the rain. But I don't think the rain was as bad as I was expecting. I was expecting literally it was going to rain from the time we teed off all the way through we finished. It was like on and off like the first 18 holes. Second 18 holes, it rained a little bit heavier there for about 4 or 5 holes where it's like, wow, what are we doing out here? Like you lean over your putt and you just see just like drops of rain coming off the bill of your head and you can't even concentrate on your putts.
Oh, that bad for some of them?
Yeah. Like no matter what you do, if you had an umbrella, you had all this rain gear, you were getting wet. Dude.
Not my dad.
No point even trying. Some guys like said, screw the rain gear. I'm going to get it wet no matter what and just rock the polo and shorts.
Really?
Yeah. And then I shot pretty well. Didn't win that much money. Had a good time. 2 good groups, quality time. And Sunday played the Fortress in Frankenmuth. Windy conditions. After the rain came through, we probably had a couple holes where like the wind was at our backs, like helping wind. But other than that, it was either in our face or it was left to right wind. So if you hit one up there, knock down, push it right. Gale typed course, so like high grass everywhere. Played a little bit better.
Hit the shot of your
groups. Out of the 12 of us, led all the groups in birdies. Not to brag though.
On that day?
All days. Birdie leader, Evan Cad.
All.
Wow. How many won you that award?
3.
3.
Nice.
Remember the conditions.
The quality of golf was. Yeah, quality of golf kind of fell down a little bit into rain.
Net birdies?
Real.
Real birdies. Wow. Evan.
Oh, yeah.
And I contributed to one of them.
How?
Yeah, so Sunday morning, I hear Alex's dad waking up at 7 a.m., screaming at the top of his lung that the sun is out. Screaming, the sun is out! The sun is out! I'm like, it's 7 a.m. What are we doing? And realizing it's 7 a.m. and everybody's like wet clothes. It's just been sitting in everybody's cars because it rained Saturday night. And like trying to dry that out Sunday morning was miserable. Like my car still reeks of like dirty, wet dog.
Oh, mildew. Like nastiness.
Oh no.
I can't get rid of it.
I can't either.
I was driving this morning and I had all the windows down, probably going 70 down the highway, trying to get rid of the smell. No, I just got in it. This app, literally like a half an hour ago. Nope, wouldn't work.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's stinky.
Evan, please talk about the greatest shot I've ever seen you hit. Please. Please tell the people.
Oh, okay. So, par 5. I'm riding with Alex. This is Sunday's round at the Fortress. Back 9, I believe we're on at this point.
Yeah.
Back 9. I hit a really good drive. It just wound up a little bit off to the fairway in the rough. So the rough is actually like high grass, but I had a favorable lie. High grass wasn't around me. It was kind of just like unpatchy rough.
No fluffing.
No fluffing. Ball down.
No fluffing. Ball down. Alex got the yardage, about 220 out. I know I have a club that I can hit consistently 200, guaranteed I'm going to hit 200, 200, 200. But I have another club, a hybrid. It's like a 3-wood hybrid mix. And I was like, you know what? I'll try it. I'm going to try to hit this. Yeah. And I play a natural draw. That's just the way I swing. It's always a draw. Always a draw. Ball's elevated. It's up on like a little bit of a hill. And I got played this massive cut to get it onto the green. I don't know if I can do this now. It's just said, do it. You have to hit a cut. You have to hit a cut. And so I try to go through my pre-check reads, right foot forward a little bit, open up the club face a little bit, and then you got to swing hands a little bit inside. You don't want to wrap around it. It's a little baseball swing, a little inside. And I told myself, you know what, head down. If it goes far left because it doesn't cut, it doesn't, So I hit this beautiful shot, and Alex is just freaking out in the golf cart. He's like, cut! He's like, oh my God, it's cutting. And so I lose track of it because I'm trying to move and like find the ball. Alex is like, oh my God, it's cutting. I see it land, boom, on the green, goes past the hole.
It landed like 2 feet from the pin.
Get in the hole! Get in the hole! Garrett's in the Eller cart with Drew. I just stand up and do one of the flex motions, just celebrating because one of us finally hits like an excellent shot. Missed my ankle putt, tap in birdie though, so that was probably, like Alex said, the shot of my life.
Awesome.
220 out, a club that I don't hit often, and I put it on a green. I was proud about myself.
Wow.
It's great.
You were one with the slope. So it might all be downhill from there, though.
It was. That might be peak golf game right there.
But you have to savor it, which sounds like you did. You flexed. All right.
To me?
Yeah.
Well, my week, boring. Did nothing. Don't do much. What did we do during the week?
We got the number 1 draft pick.
Yes. But we've talked to the people since then.
And the high after that lasted me at least still going.
I did stay up and watch a lot of YouTube videos for a while. It was good stuff. But basically, my entire week revolved around this golf trip that Evan just mentioned. I went Friday, so I didn't get up at 5 a.m. or whatever Evan did. Golf-wise, it dumped quite a bit. The second 18 on the first day really dumped. I mean, I was struggling. I brought 2 gloves just in case, the rain. I got to put on a different one. Didn't matter. Both were soaked. Had to go no gloves. Was struggling quite a bit to really grip the club.
Oh, so that's like in football when people have to go no gloves. It's like same thing.
So I went no gloves. I was playing with my dad in that second round, and he was dry the whole time. And I have no idea what he was doing differently than myself and Lou. We were in the same group. Maybe it's because we were Tokyo drifting in the fairways. That's probably why. We were splashing it up. Good times.
Sick video.
Yeah, we got a great video. It could be a good GIF later on.
Wait, you didn't ask your dad how he stayed dry?
I did.
What'd he say?
He said he is old and he knows how to play golf without getting wet.
But
there is no logical answer. He just simply wasn't wet.
Well, I need to know more at some point.
I
can't just let this go. I have to know how
he was not. He also changed, put on his jacket, put on his rain pants, took them off, put them back on 7,000 times, but the guy was never wet. And then after the round, his feet were totally dry. All his clothes were dry, and Lou and I are standing there because the rain had finally stopped, of course, right when we finished. And I'm just standing there, just looks like I just took a shower with all my clothes on, and he's just sitting there totally dry, as if he played in the sunny day all day.
I don't understand.
It was infuriating, honestly. In terms of my actual play, I shot an 81. I won every round in terms of gross. I won 0 rounds in terms of net because some people were getting way too many strokes. That's a different discussion for a different day.
Who?
I'm not going to name everyone's names.
Was it not discussed within the group? So it'd be talking behind their back right now if you said it?
No, it was. Basically what happened was someone is way better now than they used to be. And so their handicap was 18. And then they shoot a 93. So a net 71. I, in this group, am the best golfer, not to brag.
Not a big deal.
So they give me 0 strokes, and everyone's strokes are based off of that. So based on that, I had to shoot a 70-ish, something in the 70s to win in the pouring rain. So, that's just never going to happen. So I didn't win very much money other than the closest 2 and low putts one day. And then the worst part about being the 0 handicap, I lipped out a bunch of birdies all weekend. Finally,
tough.
I stick one close, I tap in for birdie. Yes, I'm going to win some skins finally because I actually birdie because I'm not going to win with pars because I don't get strokes.
Right.
Get into the clubhouse. Not only does Evan cancel me because he parred, got a stroke, birdie, so he cancels me. Someone made a bogey, got 3 strokes on that hole, net eagle. I didn't even push the hole. I straight up lost, and I made the only real birdie on that hole, and I won $0. In fact, I gave away money for it.
I don't even know how someone's getting 3 strokes on a hole. I'm just gonna be frank.
Well, that said person took about, a lot of money the whole weekend.
I am atrocious at golf, and I've never been given 3 strokes on a golf hole.
It was a par 4 too.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. That just seems ridiculous.
There is now being discussions that next golf trip there's going to be a lot of adjustments because that just did not seem fair in my eyes.
Sounds like we need a new calculator.
Evan and I agree that if you make a real birdie and no one else does, that should count. No more net birdies in that scenario. But
I think
fair.
you could have net birdies, but if you get a true birdie and somebody like gets a net birdie on the same hole, then that regular birdie should trump the net birdie.
Agreed.
But if you get a par and somebody gets a net birdie, it's a decent hole for that person, then
Agreed.
they can win on that hole. But a regular birdie should trump anything else. Regular eagle should trump anything else.
Agreed. The only other thing was on Sunday, thought I was going to break 80. I had a decent shot, but my cart partner, Evan, let me down and let me lose my mind on a hole and make a triple.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like the soft. I can see why you mentally broke down when you're just throwing
The worst
like
part
that.
about it is
Like it's Evan's job to keep your 24-year-old self in check on a golf course.
it was more of a joke. I actually gave my club to Evan on that hole to use because he didn't have one because cart path only, got to walk to your ball.
Cart path only. So if you hit one super far
that's
left,
the worst.
you were walking the walk machine all the way over to like the other fairway. You couldn't drive all the way across.
That's ridiculous. At least do the 90-degree rule if you're going to be stingy about carts.
Yeah. Just gave Evan my club. He makes par. I'm further and in the fairway. Sculled it over the green. Then I hit what I thought was an excellent chip, and it nicked a tree, dropped into the heather. And then, obviously, at that point, my temper was pretty high. So I just went up, whacked it out of there. I don't really know what I did after that. Putted around, made a 7, got in the cart, didn't talk for a hole or two. So
Jordan Spieth.
yeah, and I think Evan even got a skin on that hole too, a net 3. So good for you, Evan. Other than that, it was a lot of fun, minus the rain.
Do you guys have any
not winning money.
playoff situations like at the Travelers? Any dramatic putting back and forth? Because that captivated me on Sunday. I was like, oh my God. I didn't think I'd be locked into the Travelers Championship, but here I am.
No, nothing like that at all.
Well, maybe incorporate it next time. A little playoff putting. Let's see. For me, mine's short. Sometimes when you don't have anything cool happen to you, you don't force it. And that's me this week. So nothing really crazy at all. It was my mom's birthday on Sunday, so I got to see some family, celebrate that. Didn't really get to go out to any cool or like a dinner or anything, which kind of stunk. We ordered some dinner because I had work until 8 p.m. on the weekend, so just watched a lot of sports. The only notable thing I thought was interesting just to share was because of said rain, and the rain here near Detroit and Birmingham was insane. It was just like 5 hours of just dumping. So I drove back like an hour on Saturday morning, and I was like, I had like the radio on, like podcasts or music interchangeably, so I couldn't really hear my surroundings, but I kept feeling like when I was braking at lights, I could hear like water sloshing around, and I didn't really know. It sounded like it was like my front right like light, like part of the car. I was like, well, that's weird. Like it just felt like when you used to fill up basketball hoops in the bottom with water and you slosh it around, you can hear it. I'm like, what the heck? So I get home and I open the passenger door. I'm like, oh, there's like a ton of water just somehow got into that door, like inside of it, inside the plastic. And I think it's because when I park on the street, it's like slightly tilted where like that is closest to the curb. And I think there just must have been so much water coming down from the angle that it got in the door. And so I like underneath the door, there's like a little piece of rubber that has like grooves that attach to the bottom of it. And I ripped it out, and then just like, it looked like someone was peeing. Just like that stream just coming out of the door, underneath the door. And it ran for at least like 3 minutes, just steady stream onto the street, just drained all this water that somehow got in between the two plastic panels of a door. I don't know how that happens, but it was interesting. So when I drove back home that hour, my car was a little bit more weighed down than normal. But that just speaks to how much rain there was in the state of Michigan this weekend. And we even got more today. So hopefully this humidity can like relax, because I kind of missed that Arizona weather from my previous trip when it's just dry heat. You know, I don't need all this sticky, muggy feeling. Besides weekly check-ins, just quick hitters in the national news. Well, this one's pretty much wide open. The playoffs, I mean, it feels like every week, I guess, we come on here and kind of nitpick Evans, Bucks, and Giannis, but they just keep catching breaks, man. I mean, first you have Harden and Kyrie get hurt, and now you have Trae Young sprain his ankle on a ref. I mean, we'll see how that game goes tonight, but Trae Young does not look like himself, and they probably would have won that game if he didn't get hurt. And it also feeds to Alex's point where it feels like Chris Middleton is the alpha on this Bucks team. But I guess at some point, Evan's got to have to defend Giannis, and he needs to be defended because he's averaging like 30 points a game in these playoffs. So it's not like he stinks, but it just feels like they're just catching break after break. And then the other series, I don't know if the Clippers will die. I could see that series going 7 games. So I'm interested in that.
The Islanders lost. Shame.
And Evan's team got eliminated finally, so he's got the Bucks left. So I guess we'll see with that.
I'm worried about the Suns. I think they might lose in 7. Pretty nervous about it.
3-1 lead. Chris Paul has been
to do that.
I was about to say has been known to do that.
And Bucks are going to the finals. Congratulations, Evan. Chris Middleton is the best player on that team, though, and I don't even think you can argue it at this point.
False. Why do you say it like that?
I thought you said balls.
False. The way you're like pursing your lips is freaking me out. Do it again.
False.
Does that not creep you out, Alex? Also, Alex, how close you're sitting to your screen is kind of creeping me out right now, too. I mean, you're right in that. I'm surprised the librarian hasn't come over and said quiet down yet. Been saving that one for a while.
You're so funny.
Not actually, that one just came to me.
Should cut that.
Funny
that
news.
Was a terrible joke.
Funny news is, I'll probably clip that. Funny news is that my Butler Bulldogs get to beat your guys' Michigan State Spartans this, we're calling it fall. It'll be fall, yeah, because it's not going to get into December.
It's November.
For those that don't know, now you know, the Gavitt games, Big Ten, Big East battle. Everyone loves it. It's national talk. Not really. It's just for those 2 conferences, really.
No one really watches it.
No. It's under the radar. Finally, the long-awaited matchup, Michigan State travels to Hinkle Fieldhouse to face Butler. And I know, I mean, you guys didn't say it. I think you feel it, that it's like an easy automatic W. There are some Michigan State fans on Instagram saying like, oh, automatic dub. I just want Michigan State fans to know that you were walking into a place who held a 59-game home court winning streak against non-conference opponents, which was the nation's longest streak. More so that we beat out Duke. Duke lost to Stephen F. Austin, and we held it for a good season. And then this year, injury struck, and we faced a hot Southern Illinois Salukis team. And they beat us. But another fact that you should know is that Butler returns the most minutes of any team in college basketball to their team next year because our point guard, who is probably going to be like 23 years old, Aaron Thompson, chose to come back because he got injured last year. And we were back, and we're running it back. And we
can't score.
And we're going to catch you guys when your freshmen are still trying to figure it out. Don't get it twisted. You guys will finish the year better than Butler, most likely. But I think in this matchup at Hinkle Fieldhouse with that non-conference mojo, I love Butler's chances.
Do you think, Grant, honestly,
yes,
after Michigan State plays Kansas, potentially Baylor, Louisville, like all these, we play
3 losses.
We play good elite programs.
You watch your mouth right now.
You think Michigan State is going to be scared about a terrible Butler basketball team that just showed last year how bad they were? And
no, hear me out.
And I did watch a lot of Butler games, so
credit to you.
They might have had the worse offense than Michigan State did, and that's saying quite a bit.
No, I'd say that's fair.
And you are young too, so what are you talking about?
Well, there's one.
I'll take
you
Michigan State and I bet anything right
now.
We're
not young. We return the most minutes of anyone. We have like 6-year guys on our team. And no, I don't think you guys are going to fear Butler. And I think that's why you're going to get caught with your pants down in Hinkle Fieldhouse. That's what I'm trying to say.
Would you like to make a gentleman's bet?
Yeah, at some point. I mean, I kind of got to see how things shake out here.
Oh, no.
We got a sweet transfer from Eastern Michigan. I got to see how he looks in our exhibition games, you know. So maybe
I can't tell if you're just like doing this for comedy.
No, I'm dead serious. I think Butler will win that game. I think it'll be like 60-59.
I think I said that Michigan State will win by 15. I'll stand by that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Evan, you have not said anything.
You know, I'm letting you 2 guys go at it. This game is for that Gordon Hayward actually fouled Draymond Green. He did in the 2010 Final Four.
He did.
Draymond Green shot wasn't a fluke. Look at the pictures. We've seen him. Gordon Hayward fouled him.
He did.
And like Rams prediction, I think this game will be super low scoring. Like this might be like an ugly early 2000s basketball game where it's like 22-21 at halftime.
It's going to be gross to watch.
Yo, that sounds like a great halftime score.
47-32 final.
It'd be lucky to get in the 50s
That helps us.
for the final score.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it does. Because you guys have
I think
potential to
that's it.
score 80. We don't have potential to score 80.
I like Michigan State's offense a lot better than I like Butler's.
So, whatever. We'll see. That's just basketball. They also released like the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Michigan State got Louisville. You guys get them at home, right?
Correct.
Michigan goes to
Kenny Goins game.
Michigan goes to North Carolina. I feel like we play them every year at this point. Might as well become a conference game.
Does Michigan play in the Gavitt?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
play host Seton Hall. So 2 good non-conference opponents I'm looking forward to there. But that's way in the future. Just exciting to get you thinking about. I also threw in football recruiting. I did this as a favor to you. So if anyone ever says I'm a biased Michigan fan, my whole Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon on the Shot of Michigan Sports Twitter feed was like, hey, we just got Joey Hauser's long-lost cousin as our new quarterback. I'm joking. I know they're not related. Just ironic. But yeah, you guys apparently got your quarterback of the 20 – not apparently, you did. Of the 20 – well, unless he flips again. Of the 2022 class. And coincidentally, Michigan also got theirs. So it was just like news blurb. Quarterbacks are a big deal. I don't really have many thoughts on Michigan's signing, so I'll get out of the way here and let you guys go. The only thing I'll say about him is like it's just not as exciting because I project J.J. McCarthy to basically be a starter here for three plus years. So I don't know how much this 2022 sign is really going to affect like on-field performance unless there's injuries in front of him. But I'm glad they at least got a quarterback.
Yeah, we talked about the Michigan Jaden Denegal, right? What's his name?
That is his name.
Yeah, it looks like he's just signing to be the backup. He'll probably transfer. Wish him the best.
I mean, I wouldn't throw out the T word, but I would say, yeah, like
In today's college
he's
football,
going to be a backup behind J.J. McCarthy unless things
JJ is
change
bad. Yeah.
or gets injured. Yes. But there was more throw it up to you guys, too, if you guys want to throw a parade, because I saw a lot of people throwing parades, a lot of parade throwing. Like you guys just
feels good to
won
get
the Big Ten on a Saturday in June.
Yeah, maybe Michigan State's fan base is turning into a Michigan.
I was going to say, is this what it
parade?
feels like when the hype train is going on Michigan recruits? Is Cade Hauser going to get the Michigan State bump, as they say? Or is he going to get deduced to a 2-star?
Well, that won't happen. He's in the Elite 11 finals this week, so, if he performs well there, I'm sure he'll get a bump.
Choo-choo.
I don't know. He plays a top 3 high school football program in the country.
Bosco sticks.
So, yeah. I mean, it's probably our best quarterback recruit since Brian Lewerke. Besides, the Weaver didn't work out, so.
No, you were high on that guy. But that was pre-podcast, so we won't hold that against you.
Everyone was high on that guy. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's exciting, but.
Evan, sell me Cade
Too soon to say anything else.
Sell me Cade Hauser in like 2 sentences.
Mel Tucker's guy.
Period.
Tuck comment.
West Coast athletic quarterback.
Okay. I like that.
Quick release. Cannon.
Todd McShay. Notes to love.
Super skinny.
All right. So there's your recruiting update for anyone that was dying for a recruiting update. But we'll get more as the classes fill out. Rocket Mortgage Classic back in Detroit, kind of last thing. TBD, I don't know if anyone from the pod will make an appearance there to get in Bryson's kitchen. Evan informed me that you can get kicked out for such things now, which seems soft. PGA, soft for that. Let me say Brooksy if I want to. That's cool. I guess Bryson doesn't win our tournament, although he won it last year, I believe. So we'll see. Would love to see Phil maybe or Kevin Kisner. I like rooting for those guys. So that'd be cool if they pull one out.
Is Ricky playing?
I think I saw something today that Ricky, Hideki, and Phil are in the same group for Thursday and Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Don't quote me on it. I don't know 100% factual if you want to look it up right now. But I'm pretty sure I saw that on Twitter.
All right. So big things happening at the DGC, the Detroit Golf Club. I actually had to look up the other day where this tournament's at. I never really locked into it that much. But it seems fun. Evan, it seems like you're researching this group pairing.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, the Rocky Mortar Classic, people are projecting, like, the winning score to be, like, 30 under based off of the scores last time and how wet the course has been playing. Like, don't be shocked if it's over 30.
Yeah. It's an easy event, sounds like.
So it's not the U.S. Open.
No.
But they did try to make the course a little bit tougher this year. You know, the rough is going to be thicker, and they changed a little, I think, a couple hole layouts or just, like, tees and stuff like that. They're trying to make it a little bit more difficult, but I don't think it's going to help.
All right. Well, look forward to that. Root for the golf course since we're in Detroit. We don't want our golf course to get embarrassed. So, as I kind of let off the show, teased in the beginning, we couldn't just have nice things in a calm lead up to the draft here at the end of July. And you guys can tell me I'm wrong if you think I'm exaggerating, but at least on like articles I've read, tweets I've seen, Instagram posts, the web, not the deep web, the normal web. I've seen a lot of smoke takes, opinions that Cade Cunningham is not a lock to go first for the Pistons, that there's this attractiveness about Jalen Green to organizations and he's flying up draft boards. There's potential trades being floated out, whether or not they're just for fun or like serious. But I don't think we're overreacting is what I'm trying to say. Like I do think it's only been 1 week, and I just think there's been so much smoke about Cade Cunningham not ending up on the Pistons that we got to talk about it. And we're going to discuss like the fallout from the draft anyways, because we only got our initial reactions. But I guess first of all, do you guys think this is like fair? Like we're not making this stuff up. And like I almost said in the notes, like we're not going to call out specific articles or specific takes really. Maybe we will, but like there's enough of it out there that it's worth talking about.
I agree. There is a lot of talk about the Pistons and not Cade Cunningham,
which is kind of crazy because I mean everything I've seen is like he's the guy. I want to hear Evan hop in here first. I mean, I put down a list of questions. I guess the most open-ended one, Evan, you can take it wherever you want, is like now that we're a week removed from winning the lottery, how are you feeling about Pistons having the first pick? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Do you want to puke? Are you like, is it still so a month away you're not even thinking about it really? Like where are you at with us having the first pick?
I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, this is a Cade Cunningham podcast. And I don't see it going any other way. And like you said, Grant, there are people out there saying how Houston's in love with Cade Cunningham and the Pistons are in love with Jalen Green and they might swap picks. There's rumors out there for all these trades. I just think it's Cade Cunningham or bust. And I think a lot of NBA analysts will say that. And these articles are getting wrote by reporters. So there might be a little, clickbait here and there. But they're doing their jobs. It's well-deserved because I think some of the rumors are potentially could be true. But I think, in my opinion, it's Cade Cunningham or nothing. You saw our natural reaction because that was because we were excited for Cade Cunningham. We were not excited for Jalen Green. We were not fist-pumping for Jalen Green. We were getting the best player in the draft. And I think, Grant, you were quoted saying if you did draft Jalen Green, you would burn your shirt, and I'm going to hold you accountable.
That was Gillen.
That was me.
Gillen.
Oh, Alex.
What was I wearing that day?
This your Pistons like dry fit.
Your Pistons.
You love to make promises in the moment that like we have to hold you to if they have.
I've made some infamous ones for sure.
But I like, Evan, that you said that about the reporters because I do want to clarify. Like we're not crapping on reporters with this. Like we understand it'd be super boring if they went a whole month into the draft just saying like, yep, Pistons are taking Cade Cunningham. Like they have a job to do. And also it's more on the fan base of overreacting. Like just because a reporter says he knows the Pistons likes Jalen Green, that doesn't mean they're taking Jalen Green over Cade Cunningham. It just means they like him. And I think it's like the fan base gets nervous. Like, what are you trying? Like, am I supposed to read between the lines here? And are we not getting Cade? So I think we're just trying to sort all this out and also give our own opinions on the matter because like our voice should matter. Like what do we think? So I'm getting the gist from Evan that if you're Troy Weaver, because that was one of our questions, you would take Cade Cunningham with the first pick. You probably wouldn't consider trading it unless it was like a blow your socks off offer.
Correct. I am 100% on Cade Cunningham. I think a lot of like Jay Billis, I trust him the most when talking about college basketball. I think he's the most intelligent guy.
Okay.
And he says it's like locked in. It's Cade Cunningham.
Chop, John
shout out Troy
Rothstein.
Weaver.
Chop, Goodman.
Last Wednesday, the Pistons on their Twitter account did a wallpaper Wednesday, and he just had a really sick wallpaper. It was him like standing up on like this balcony offices overlooking like I assume the practice gym.
Yeah.
And he had like the world champion Pistons banners above him. I thought it was just like a sick like edited picture. Like he's about to put one up there himself after we get Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, and
but if I, like you said, Grant, if I'm Troy Weaver, I don't see it going any way than Cade Cunningham.
Super unrelated too. There's something about in the pro sports when they put like world champion sounds so much like cooler than national champion.
Awesome.
Like a college football national champion, whatever. But like when you're basketball, you're a world champion. Sounds sweet. That just made me think about that. But yes, that picture, I love it every time, and it makes me think that we're in good hands when I see Troy just like looking down upon like the whole practice gym, like, what kind of moves do I need to make here? Plumlee, are you gone? Who else? Who's gone? Alex, do you disagree with Evan at all, or do you see it the same way?
I think that these articles and all this stuff, there's probably truth to it, and I think Troy Weaver ultimately, he wants everyone to think that he could be taking anyone. I think that's a solid plan. Convince people you might take Jalen Green. I think he's just gonna do his due diligence. He will look. They've already interviewed like 10 guys, which definitely didn't need to do that. But Troy Weaver, based on what I've read, is he doesn't do the whole group think. He just does what he thinks.
I know what article you're talking about.
Yeah, which kind of made me nervous because then I was thinking, well, if Troy really thinks Jalen Green is better, he will draft him and he will not care about us, especially not this podcast. So that made me a little nervous. But ultimately, I think once he does all his research and comes to his conclusion, it will be Cade Cunningham and everyone can sleep easy and it'll be fine. And if I was Troy Weaver, I would also take Cade Cunningham. I mean, this is a no-brainer, in my opinion, although there's a lot of articles that say it's not a no-brainer. No shade there. They could really think that. But for me, Cade Cunningham is the guy, and as Evan said, this is a Cade Cunningham podcast, Cade Cunningham fan club, and it will stay that way until we draft him, and long after we draft him.
When I read that groupthink and then you said it, whenever I hear groupthink, I always think about that creepy book that you have to read 1984 in school. I think they call it like groupthink or group speak, and like everyone's brainwashed to think the same. And in this case, Big Brother, I kind of wish Troy Weaver would just like, let's just get in line with groupthink. Let's just be like,
just do what they
Big Brother's watching. Let's just take Cade Cunningham. Let's not get crazy. Let's not do our own crazy research. Let's just stick to the plan here. Alex, you were a little bit, I guess, nicer about like, because I guess, so there's a difference between like people reporting that the Pistons like Jalen Green and that just basically just saying they like him. That's all we really know. And then it was us to interpret, does that mean they like him enough to take him over Cade? And then, like you said, there's people that are like, well, I think the gap between Jalen and Cade's closer, and I would even consider taking Jalen Green. Like there's people out there saying that.
Right.
Well, I'm not willing to be so nice here. I don't want to get too riled up, but I just want to say this. If you're out there right now and you think that you would take Jalen Green over Cade Cunningham if you were in this position, then I respect your basketball opinion infinitely less. I think you don't know what you're talking about. I don't trust your opinions. You obviously didn't watch Oklahoma State play that much. And myself, I didn't watch. I could go the opposite way. You could say, Grant, you didn't watch every G League Ignite game. Hand up. I didn't. I don't really care about it. I don't care about the G League. I watched this highlight tape I've had in the past. Alex turned me on to Jalen Green a little bit ago, and I was like, okay, stands out. I would love him at the 4th pick, sure. I'll say this. I think Jalen Suggs is better than Jalen Green. After watching today, I rewatched his highlight tape today for this podcast. Jalen Green, and I have this fun little, not experiment, but just thought exercise here, this group think exercise. I've heard multiple people say Jalen Green can be like a locked and loaded 20-point scorer in the NBA in like his first couple seasons. By like year 3, he'll be averaging like 20 a game. Sounds sweet, right? Like, okay, sign me up for that. But not really, because in today's NBA, getting 20 points a game is not some like amazing achievement. There's like a lot of guys in the NBA. I'm going to give you a couple names that average 20 points per game this season. Okay. And for fairness, anyone at 19.5 and up, I'm going to round up to 20, which only helps my point because there's some gross names down there that wouldn't make the list if I just did like 19.6 didn't count. So let's start at 19.5 and go up, and I'll just rattle a couple, okay? Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley,
Stud.
Fred VanVleet,
Stud.
Gordon Hayward,
Really
Victor Oladipo,
incredible.
Kristaps Porzingis, Karis LeVert, Sabonis, Middleton, Terry Rozier, John Wall, Christian Wood, Malcolm Brogdon, Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, Jimmy Butler, DeRozan, our own Jeremy Grant. I mean, the list gets better as we get into the Colin Sexton, 24 points a game. What I'm trying to say is like, yes, I would like a guy that can do that, but if you put Colin Sexton on the Pistons tomorrow, I don't think we're competing for the 10th seed in the playoffs and in the play-in tournament. I still think there's too many flaws with the team, whereas I'm trying to tell you that Cade Cunningham is just a different tier of basketball player, and like people use tiers in fantasy football drafts, like the difference. Cade Cunningham is in his own tier in this draft, and then there's like Suggs, Green, and Mobley underneath him. Because Cade Cunningham is not just like an athletic freak scorer, which Jalen Green is, and that's why I think he pops out on tape because he can dunk and he can blow by people. Cade Cunningham controls and dictates how a basketball game unfolds, like plain and simple. He calms everyone down. He brings the ball up the floor. He can create for himself. He can pass like nobody's business. He passes better than Jalen Green, 1,000%. He plays solid defense, can block shots. And this is one point that I did not want to miss because many people will bring up, well, Grant, Jalen Green played in the G League, so he was already getting to play against up-and-coming pros, veteran pros that are now in that league. And
Jarrett Jack.
He played with him. So I'll admit, yes, his competition level in they only played like 15 games in the G League, first of all, so they didn't even have that long of a season. But in those games, 15 games. In those games, whereas Cade Cunningham, before I get carried away, played 27. So we also got a little bit more sample size. And Cade Cunningham gets the bright lights of March Madness to play under, which is another point I do not want to miss. But full circle here, yes, the like day in, day out competition in the G League can be higher, and there's more grown men factor in that. But here's the thing. That also means that Jalen Green had much better teammates. And I know Alex will attest, and I know, Evan, you watch enough Oklahoma State basketball, is the people around Cade Cunningham stunk.
Bad.
Like, I don't want to crap and chop Oklahoma State, but they were so bad and so sloppy and didn't capitalize on all the plays that Cade made. Jalen Green was not getting, like, triangle defense, triple teams on him, whereas Cade Cunningham would get his man on him, the help defender on the wing, basically already more than halfway in the gap, stopping his drive. And then you have the guy guarding in the post walked up. So they're basically playing a triangle defense on him whenever he's out there, like triple team, basically. Jalen Green is not having that in the G League. They're spreading out. They're, playing in space like the NBA. So if you're going to talk about the G League has better competition, you also need to say, well, he had Jarrett Jack and Jonathan Kuminga, another projected lottery pick, next to him and other solid players. Whereas Cade Cunningham was basically backpacking a team of, I almost said misfit toys, but I'm not going to say misfit toys.
I would.
Guys that got
They're
too
pretty
sped up
bad.
in the moment. And then the last point, not the last point, but the other point I need to rip off here before I forget is I love players in the NBA, and as we see in the playoffs, that are not going to shrink in the last 5 minutes of game. And I know for a fact, I'm not saying Jalen Green cannot, but I know for a fact Cade Cunningham loves the bright lights, loves the moments. I can think about Kansas, the Oklahoma game, the Baylor game, where he rose up in the last minutes of games and made massive shots and made massive defensive plays where I know he's not going to disappear at the end of a game. And I love that, and I want that on my team. The clutch factor, you cannot really like handicap for. You just know it when you see it. And he has it. So that's basically my argument since I attacked people saying if they wanted Jalen Green more, then they're dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I watched an Oklahoma State game against Texas, and Oklahoma State went like a good 6 possessions in a row without even giving the ball to Cade Cunningham. The lack of ability on that team was eye-opening, and they still beat the national champions in a game. So you can thank Cade Cunningham for that solely.
Yeah, I think they beat him twice even. Maybe.
They're a top 4 seed.
They were Evan's push through to the Final Four. He's got to be. He's a huge Cade guy.
Evan's been a Cade guy.
So I guess you guys can take it where you want, but I want to kind of hear from Evan a little bit on have we started thinking about how Cade's play style would fit with this Pistons roster? How do you kind of see Cade fitting in with our team?
He's an athletic wing player. Like I've always said, it never hurts to have more athletes on the court at the same time. I think Killian Hayes is like the true point guard that like maybe half-court stuff gets you into something, whereas Cade can be like your transition point guard. He can lead fast breaks a little bit better. He can attack, score, shoot a little bit better than Killian Hayes. Overall, Killian's a really good passer, defends pretty well. But like Cade Cunningham's size just helps the Pistons. He's I think 6'8", 6'7" wing player. Like I said, that can shoot consistently, and like you said, end of the games, he's there on defense. I think he fits in the play style because now you have Bay and Cunningham on the wing with Killian being able to dish it to him. And now you have the ability to space the floor more often with the younger talent. Killian's probably not a deep threat opportunity, but now you're giving driving lanes for Cunningham, maybe free up a little bit of Stewart a little bit more. And we saw Jeremy Grant on the team, so now he's going to have a little bit more freedom of movement in the offense, where he's probably not going to get double teamed or have 4 eyes looking at him more often. You put a number 1 pick on a team, you're expecting him to be an all-star is what everybody thinks. So now somebody has to be accountable for guarding Cunningham, and I think we'll be able to score easier. It's the NBA. Teams call the defense what it is. But I think it's only just going to help like the offense be able to move. Like now you're not putting so much pressure on Hayes and Stewart and Bay to do all the heavy loading if like Grant's not in. Now you have like a superstar that can be able to get you 20 points easily, I think, and probably be the NBA Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah, sprinkle that in. That gets me going. Olympian Jeremy Grant too. Some respect on Mr. Yes. Jeremy Grant's name. I'm a little nervous about Killian and Cade, but I trust like the development and the coaching staff to figure it out. There might be some growing pains there because they both seem like guys that do best when the ball's in their hand, and I had to like realize that when I watched back more of Cade's tape from Oklahoma State. Because Cade's like an unbelievable passer, and that's like Killian's go-to thing. I think I'm kind of beating the drum here on repeating what other people have said in the NBA landscape. If as long as Killian can continue to work on being like a higher than like 32 to 35% catch and shoot 3-point shooter, he'll be fine off the ball from Cade because people won't be able to sag off of him. I don't worry about Cade being able to play off the ball. That dude can do like anything. And I think it really helps Saddiq Bey. He's going to get way more open threes. Jeremy Grant, like you said, driving lanes and threes will be there. And alley-oops, just another person that can throw great alley-oop passes to any of our centers. Alex, do you share any similar concerns with the Killian Cade backcourt, or how do you kind of see it? The puzzles
actually like to fit a lot.
Okay.
I think it could work really well. Like Evan said, it's going to clear some space. I think Cade off the ball, actually, he could be better than on the ball.
That gets you going a little bit.
I think at Oklahoma State, he had to be on the ball all the time because, like I said, his team was bad.
Yeah,
I think off the ball, he could really reach another level of scoring, even though he's already a ridiculous scorer. But he is a great passer too, but Killian is not yet much of a scorer. So I like the idea of Killian running the offense, and then Cade in space will be able to do whatever he wants because he's never going to – because Killian can drive. Cade's never going to get doubled. Killian's not going to get doubled because if you double them, Saddiq's open. There's so much athleticism on the floor with this team.
Yeah.
And with the backcourt, I think that the Pistons could be pretty solid in terms of, their ceiling.
Oh, a little tease for one of the next questions. But I like what you said there. It got me thinking back to Evan's point about I love the idea of Killian controlling the half-court offense if we get stale. And then, like Evan said, imagine a 6'8", Cade Cunningham grabbing his 7th rebound of the game, turning around, firing like a one-handed bounce pass in transition to someone like running the floor. Like I love him as the transition point guard. And then obviously late in game, you have your guy now. Jeremy Grant could be, but and he will be in the meantime until Cade's like fully comfortable. But you have that guy at the end of games that you can rely on, and then you can also rely on Jeremy Grant too. So you got 2 guys that can kind of go after it. But that leads us to our realistic expectations for this team. Again, we've reached the whole like dismissing any other theories about the first pick. This is all assuming we're taking Cade Cunningham, which if we have to positively speak into existence like we do with getting the first pick, we will. We are going to get Cade Cunningham. We are going to draft him. With him on our team, what are your expectations for next season, Evan? Maybe what's your realistic expectations, then what's like the biggest ceiling you see for this team?
Realistic expectations, I still think we'll miss the playoffs due to depth on the bench. As you see playoff teams, they are deeper than everybody else.
No Saban Lee for you?
Superstars.
No Frank Jackson?
I'm sorry, he ain't going to do it.
I'm sorry.
I still think we'll miss the playoffs. Obviously, we'll probably have more wins. More competitive. We were competitive in most games this year. I think we'll be even more competitive with the superstar on our team now. But I think the ceiling or what would be an impressive season is what you're competing for, like that 10th spot. You're in those play-in games. I don't see almost getting higher than 7 or 6. Now I could be wrong because the East has struggled with record-wise and team overall teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. You're still a couple pieces away. You're still a couple years away because Killing's still 19. Cade Cunningham is 19. So ceiling, playing game, realistic, what I think is going to happen, still miss the playoffs.
Damn.
But more wins.
Well, I feel like the win was taken out of our sails. We were hyping up. You said yours were much different, Alex.
They were pretty different.
Lay that on the podcast real quick.
I think my floor expectation,
your real expectation,
what I think is doable, because not only
that you expect, not
trust Cade Cunningham, I trust Troy Weaver to build this team a little more in the offseason as well, get that depth. Mm-hmm. I think minimum we're 10 seed in the play-in games of the playoffs. I think that's a minimum. I expect to be there. And I know people, Evan, you said it's too early, and that's a high ceiling type thing. But I really think that the Pistons have enough talent. Even in their 20-52 season or whatever they just had, they showed that they can compete. And they were in a lot of close games.
And for context, to get in that 10 seed, you're looking at 36 to 38 wins given on the year. So you're projecting 16 to 18 more wins for the Pistons with the addition of Cade Cunningham and then whatever other roster moves are made going into this year.
Yes. And I also got to think that near the end, the Pistons, were executing the tank.
Mm-hmm. No Jeremy Grant for a while there.
So they were losing games maybe on purpose, but they made it look believable, minus when they had just no players available on nights. Now,
Corey Joseph.
Ceiling. I originally was thinking, and I was going to say that they could make the Eastern Conference Finals like the Hawks did this year. I have since backtracked.
Bro, that actually might be the most ridiculous thing. No, that wasn't even a thought that you're seeing.
I did. I really thought that because I was just thinking about the Hawks. And then I had to think to myself, Cade's not just going to walk in and be as good as Trae Young right away. It's going to take some time.
Dude, the Hawks had the worst record in the league 2 years ago with Trae.
Right. I know. So I backtracked off that.
Which makes me nervous now that I just said that out loud.
So I think best case scenario, like I said, Troy Weaver is going to have to add some pieces in free agency. Nothing huge, but depth pieces. And Cade's going to have to be already at an all-star level. So this is just, this is ceiling. This is fun.
No, we get it. Just lay it on us.
I think that
NBA champs.
They could get to maybe a
world champs
6 or 5 seed and win their first round series and get to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Oh my gosh. That's way too high.
That's a ceiling. That's supposed to be the two opposite ends. And I think that is their their max potential next year.
Dude, that's way too
A surprising Game 7 win in round 1 and a sweep in the Eastern Conference semis by the Nets.
That would be that. Whew. All right. Well, I'm more in the middle, so I guess it's good that I went last. I share the same thought with Alex, but keep in mind for any listeners and you guys that I'm the fan that likes to set the bar too high so I can be disappointed. Like I never go in thinking things are going to be negative. That's why every year I think Michigan football will beat Ohio State the week before the game because it just gets me going. In this case, though, I would say my expectations where I'll be disappointed if they do not happen is that we will be the 10 seed in the play-in tournament. So exactly the same as Alex. That's what I expect. That's what I think will happen. And that's just going off of we don't really add anything flashy, you know? And then same thing, we don't add anything flashy. We have Killian, Cade, Sadiq, Jeremy, Isaiah, Plumlee, whatever. How that shakes out, I think our ceiling is to win the play-in tournament and be rewarded playing the 1 seed and then get knocked out then. Like that's where I see like the peak of this team unless we do anything.
Super small gap there.
Yeah. Because I mean, I expect us to make it. I guess the middle is we just don't win the play-in tournament. And then our ceiling is like, wow, we got hot in 2 games and we knocked off the 7 seed. And which you're looking, I don't know, 7 seed, like the Hornets, the upstart Hornets, maybe the Celtics stink and we beat the Celtics somehow. And we get to play like the Nets or the Bucks and get like we win 1 game. We get gentlemen swept. That's what I see as a ceiling. Now, for fun, to let your mind wander, we do a little deal where we ship out Killian and some picks and we bring back Ben Simmons to pair with this squad. We could be in
a top 4 seed in the East.
We could be a top 4 seed in the East looking at the conference finals if we play our cards right.
Okay. You're not getting past the Nets no matter what.
Hey, injuries happen.
Probably not the Bucks.
Injuries happen. No,
the Pistons
you're right.
aren't getting past Kevin Durant by himself.
You're right. So conference semifinals, but we'll win more. We won't get swept in them. We'll win like 2 games in the conference semifinals. I'll give you that.
So your ceiling is,
but that's not that's like if we get Damian Lillard, if we get Kawhi, if we get Ben Simmons, all these guys that want out of their situations, we get Luka. I don't know. Let's get crazy. We land into one of those guys. Conference semifinals with Cade, 2 wins. But realistically, play-in tournament, that's where we'll be. And if it's below that, I'll be a little sad and have to readjust.
I can see us going lower than that.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I mean, because like look at the teams that missed.
Injuries.
Like, the Bulls should have had a better season, so you got to factor them.
They were close.
Right, but you have to factor them taking a step up maybe and being in the hunt there. The thing that I want to close out this with, and then you guys can give any parting shots you have, is another thing I remembered was people were kind of the weakness of Cade Cunningham, they like to say, is he's not jump off the page athletic, which Jalen Green is, and I think that's why people get attracted to the Jalen Green dream. I would like to say is like, yeah, even though sometimes Cade struggles to like beat a guy around the corner one-on-one, look at the budding stars in the game. Luka Doncic is not blowing by people. Trae Young, he's like shifty, but he's not like blow by speed. He's not De'Aaron Fox. He's like crafty and knows how to work around people. And he's a great passer. And then also look at Devin Booker. Devin Booker's not blowing by people. He's just crafty, knows how to get to his spots. And a thing that we see in these playoffs is that floater that Trae Young has that is so lethal and freezes defenses. Well, hey, Cade Cunningham, one of his best attributes is his mid-range floater, and I was watching it again today, and it's lethal, and it just freezes defenses in the pick and roll. So don't get twisted that you have to be some freak athlete. Like, there's LeBrons, there's stars, there's Giannis's, there's that route, and then there's like these crafty players that have great shots.
Chris Middleton.
And know how to work around people in pick and roll situations that can become stars on your team. So
he's just going to pull up in people's face.
He's good off the dribble and threes as well. Was there any closing shots you guys had for that? Oh, I love it. I love it.
Okay, we were talking first. You're talking about outlooks on the team.
Yes.
I found this article. They were talking about how the outlooks and Troy Weaver's involved. He used to be part of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now he compared the current Pistons to his past Thunder's team, the 08-09 season with the Thunder.
Okay.
So this Thunder team finished 23-59. They had 2 young stars on their team named Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
I've heard of them.
I haven't.
Yes. The following season, they drafted James Harden,
Heard of
and
him
they
too.
added Serge Ibaka. He came over from Spain.
What an acquisition. Troy Weaver did this?
He was involved in the Thunder's organization. Did he do it firsthand?
Like a Brad Holmes situation. Did he draft Aaron Donald? I don't know. He had a say in the matter.
Yes, he did.
So after the Thunder added Harden and Ibaka, the Thunder jumped from a 23-win team to a 50-win team.
And Evan, would
And
you
2
like to
years
change your
later,
ceiling?
they were in the NBA Finals.
Would you
Shut
like to
your
change your
mouth.
ceiling?
Shut your mouth.
If the dominoes fall right, you could see the Pistons rebuild and turn around it much quicker than anticipated.
Restore. We're not rebuilding. We're restoring what was already
Oh,
great.
that's
Evan.
Brad's thing.
No, that's Troy Weaver's thing. He says, I'm restoring the Pistons.
Brad's a retool guy. Retool and restore. No rebuilds here.
We're not building crap. We're restoring an old
Tigers are
car.
rebuilding.
So now you look at us. We have Bay, Hayes, and Stewart, and now we're going to add Cade Cunningham. So you have a solid 4 guys.
Yeah,
With Jeremy Grant.
It's early to say those guys are on
They're
that
Kevin,
level. though.
Russell Westbrook.
I'm not comparing.
No,
those
you
guys
did.
to those
You
guys.
did. You
They were
compared
only
them.
saying the article says, but you have these guys aren't Durant or Westbrook or never will be, but you have 3 solid players on the team. 2 of them were named all rookie NBAs. And then you look at our salary cap for next year and the following year. It's all right, but not the greatest. We only have $54 million in cap.
I'll take
guaranteed
$1 million
contracts for next year as of right now. But we have $33 million in dead cap money that we can't get rid of because of Blake Griffin.
Ugh,
Thanks, Blake.
that stinks. That hurts. Now that we're good.
Our future's looking bright. I think not next upcoming season, but 2 years from now, I think it's the brightest where you should start getting invested.
NBA Finals.
Yeah. And we still have 3 second-round picks. And based off of what Troy Weaver did last November in the draft, you never know what's going to happen.
I love that little tease and move up. Yeah, I guess our future is in the you don't have to wear sunglasses to see. You know that cheesy joke. A couple of years you're going to need sunglasses for how bright our future is, but not right now.
Okay, now staying on the Pistons topic,
Yes.
I have a couple hypothetical trade offers for you guys.
Lay them on me.
You are put on your GM cap. You're the now GM of the Pistons.
Darko Milicic.
And I'm giving you the first trade offer coming from the Houston Rockets. They're in love with Cade Cunningham.
So am I.
And there's rumors out there that the Pistons
I told you this one.
are in love with Jalen Green.
He's reading my text.
You get a phone call. It's the Houston Rockets. They're offering the second pick, the 23rd, and next year's first. 3 first-round picks for the current first.
And they're taking Cade.
What's your move?
Yeah, I mean, where
Are
did
you thinking
you
about it?
where did you get this information?
They are taking Cade.
No, I can't. I can't do that deal because the 23rd honestly means nothing to me. And next year's first probably will be a lottery pick, but you never know in the NBA. What if Cade's awesome and they make the 8th seed and then it's a middle of the tier pick and I just can't have that.
Unprotected first next year? That's important.
Yeah. Throw the condom out the window. It's
I
unprotected.
think
Yes.
I would consider it, and I would take Evan Mobley at 2.
Ew. Dude, no. Evan Mobley was not a good fit on the Pistons
That
squad.
being said, I probably would say no thank you.
I can't believe you said that. I don't even see how Evan Mobley...
You have to give the other side so people just don't think we're Cade slappies. What if he sucks?
I'm just talking about
Okay,
my
but you
personal
accept the
opinion.
pick, and then we have the second pick, and all of a sudden the pick is in, and you pick Evan Mobley.
That's what I was saying, dude. I don't know if it's big man bad taste in my mouth, but I would take both Jalen's and Cade over Evan Mobley as we sit on June 29th. Maybe that will
The
change.
more I
closer.
read about Evan Mobley, I think he's going to be a star in the league.
And now,
And I get that.
Second one.
I respect that.
and the most outrageous, but maybe possible trade offer.
Love that.
Troy Weaver's former team, we just talked about, the Oklahoma City Thunder, have just
18
buttload of picks.
The Eiserman plan.
They have, even greater.
More.
They have 3 first rounds this year, 2 next year,
That's a joke.
4 first rounds in 2023, 3 first rounds in 2024.
They're not going to be able to draft all this. They
3 first rounds in
don't have the
2025.
roster space.
Yeah, they
And
don't.
3 in 2026.
So what's the offer?
So what do we get?
You get a phone call from the Thunder saying we want Cade Cunningham to stay in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
They're offering 11 picks for this first.
You saw
overall
this
pick
somewhere?
year. They're offering you 11.
Did you read this, or did
First
you just come?
picks.
This is from the brain of Evan.
I heard about it.
What?
Hypothetical.
11
They offer you
picks?
11.
Well, how many are
What
first
would you
rounders?
say?
No. Because I don't have the roster space for 11 picks. I'll pass. No, thank you.
They're not all in 1 year. They're spun out. You flip flop picks this year. So
We're getting 6? No.
okay, and then you get the Clippers first round picks or late.
For like
Like-
30, 29.
Yeah.
Evan, I can't do it
I'm
because I
passing.
cannot push success that much more down the road. I'm 23 years old and I want a title before I turn.
I don't
30.
want this rebuild going much longer. I'm passing. That seems like a longer term rebuild. Unless we
Well,
just
the
trade all
11
those 11
picks.
picks for
Evan,
Luka.
yeah, but like that's a lot of work as me, the GM. Like that means I got to scout a lot of guys. And I just want
personally-
Cade.
It's no thank you for me. I'm passing.
You wouldn't think about it like harder.
I like
you
Houston's
really
pick
wouldn't,
better
like,
because
shaking
you only
your
fall
boots.
one. No, I don't think
I
so.
have one that could shake your boots.
It's almost laughable how ridiculous that trade is. That's why I wouldn't take it.
That's aggressive. But Evan would take that.
It sounds
Trade
like
is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying I would take it because I'm a Cade Cunningham
Your
fan.
body language said it all.
But you would have to I would go down to literally the last second until I have to get that pick in to consider taking those 11 picks. I would.
What about?
I would not.
What about?
This is the podcast that we are fully in love with draft capital. I remember Alex sitting here.
I'm not.
I
I'm
do.
not.
Lions have draft capital.
That's the NFL, Evan. The Pistons are close, and they're about to be even closer. This is not the time to take on a bunch of draft capital. The Lions stink, as we're about to find out in
Jared
a few
Goff.
short seconds, how bad the bottom of the Lions roster is.
Evan, for you, since you're Mr. Want to trade the first pick away, I just labeled you that.
Evan's out of the club. See you later. No more.
I don't want that label, but feels bad if I have to wear that.
Evan,
cap
you can
over.
pay a $5 cover next episode to get back in the Cade Cunningham club if you'd like.
You can't be on the podcast anymore.
No.
You pay your $5
You need both sides.
Damn, that easy.
So the one that Zach Lowe from his podcast said throughout there, again, hypothetical, someone threw it out to him when they were in Chicago. I think were the lottery. I don't know. They were in Chicago. Some guy threw out a proposal from the Warriors because the Warriors are looking to win now. They have the 7th pick and the 14th pick, and they would throw in James Wiseman, which was last year's 3rd pick. Evan just puked at that offer.
Third pick, yeah.
So you would not.
Davion Mitchell, Evan.
You get Davion Mitchell and I don't know another. Now he's back.
Davion Mitchell, James Wiseman,
and
and
another guy.
I don't know.
Would you do that?
Evan loves Davion. Loves him.
So the 2 picks, I get Davion, another
Um,
potential decent player.
and
Just
Wiseman.
James Wiseman is just
He could be
unknown.
so-
He's unknown.
huge.
broken. No, he's broken. He's broken.
He's like
game does not
17
translate to
years
the
old.
NBA.
Evan, he
He's like 16.
he didn't get to play because of the
He
NCAA.
played like 12 games.
So 7, you could get Davion Mitchell
No,
for
that's
sure.
already happening. And we're taking Franz,
No, he's already gone.
Keon Johnson.
Maybe Corey Kispert.
No.
No thanks. Kai
I heard some-
Jones.
Give me Cameron Thomas from
Cam
LSU.
Thomas.
Detroit sports talk show host
Chris Duarte.
that talks during the 2 through 6
Mike
block
Filani.
on 97.1
Yes.
is in love with Corey Kispert. He thinks
Ew.
if you package your trades and trade up, it would be an ideal situation to have Cade Cunningham and Corey Kispert.
I'd rather just take
together. I like Corey Kispert.
Well,
shooting abilities.
this is like the week before draft talk. I would love to package our seconds up to get into like middle or late first round.
Oh, agreed.
It's gonna be hard to
that
do
word
though.
straight- No, 'cause I do not want James Wiseman, and I don't want to work on AP.
But Evan,
All right.
Because what I just
Davion,
say,
while we
Evan
were going
Cade Cunningham.
long in this.
okay, NBA is all about spacing. With James Wiseman as Isaiah Stewart, your spacing is gone. Look at the 76ers and how they cannot succeed because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid cannot mesh on offense because there's no spacing for them.
And because Ben
Facts.
Simmons can't shoot a basketball.
Also facts. I agree with Evan.
Did you see James Wiseman?
I wouldn't take that trade either.
That's why I don't.
He can't score.
That's why I
wouldn't take
don't.
that trade.
I don't love Mobley because I don't want Isaiah to have to be like our sixth man, and I don't want to play both them together. If that you
What
guys
about
see what I'm
Rasheed
saying
and
there?
Ben Wallace making it work?
Yeah, in 2004, that was
2004.
sweet. But like in
Title.
today's NBA, it's just different. Like a lot of teams go small. Look what the Clippers are doing. Zubac didn't play, and they won that
Giannis
game
and Brook
last night.
Lopez. Their offense is terrible, so that makes sense.
So I don't know.
They should get rid of Brook Lopez.
They need to go smaller.
It seems
Get
like
some
we have
shooting.
more, not questions really, but just there's a lot of things going on. But I'm glad we all agree. A little sus on Evan about drafting Cade Cunningham 1.
out on it. He
I'm
wants
just
11
teasing.
picks instead.
We'll see how
I'll
it
be the first one to
evolves.
buy his jersey, so it's okay.
Well, that would firmly get you in the club. All right. Well, I will see with that, and we'll be keeping our eye on this team. To close it out here, briefly, we have July 4th coming up. Awesome. Obligatory. I hope everyone has a great July 4th, and be safe. Do not fireworks are no joke. Don't mess around with them. Be cautious with them. But in the spirit of America, what are some of your guys' favorite things about America, or your favorite thing that just
About
makes you get ready for
America.
July 4th?
That's such a broad thing. What do I love about America?
What do you love about the 4th of July, Alex?
I love our flag. Our flag is so cool.
I was going to say our colors, red, white, and blue. I really enjoy those together.
Hot
Gets me
dogs.
going.
I love hot dogs.
Lakes, boats.
You know, grilling out, eating meat,
Barbecue.
drinking beer. It's barbecue. It's barbecue season.
Oh,
And then,
yes.
late at night, sun goes down, cools off, you shoot off a bunch of fireworks.
I
Make
love
things blow up.
when the domestic beers like Budweiser and Natty Lights and all them, they make, and Busch Lights, they make their like American themed cases. Like we go to the store, and like I went to Meyer the other day, and they have like their new Bud Light case. It's like red, white, and blue themed. I'm like, yes, we're in the middle of summer, like America. Let's go. I love that.
I love all the dudes that rock the United States of America swim trunks. I mean, there's millions of them out there. Every dude's rocking them, and I can't argue with it.
Anything else American?
This is basically just our summer segment.
No,
Yes,
it's actually not.
I love when the United States rallies behind an U.S. national team in any sport.
Oh yeah, the Olympics.
So the
are coming up.
Olympics.
Yeah, big. All right, that's good enough for me to close this thing out. Follow us at Shot of MS on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. TikTok is at Shot of Michigan Sports. Gmail is at just Shot of Michigan Sports at gmail.com. Socials are the best place for any clips, interactions with us, likes, comments, all that good stuff. Email is good for business inquiries, any ads you have, how to listen to the show, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Depending on the platform, please follow it, subscribe to it, write a review for it, leave a 5-star rating for it. It means a lot. It's all free to do. Nothing's paid for with that. And like I said, submit any questions you want to this show via the social media accounts or the email, and we will do our best to answer them for you and make it more interactive for you. So with that all being said, cheers to close out episode 27, and I'll be cheersing to our beautiful country, America, and having a great July 4th.
To America.
God bless America.